Derby week, Ufuk, what's different about the team and the approach and the environment this week?
No different in approach. We have a certain brand that we want to play and get results at the same time. I think the difference this week is coming off a good performance last week, which will definitely bring a lot of confidence into the players.
Have you noticed that after that? Obviously it was an emphatic victory over an informed team. Have you noticed the difference amongst the mood of the players, the sort of the morale this week?
Oh, look, the morale has been good regardless of the results, because we have a certain belief that we can play a certain way, and we've done that in games that we actually haven't won, but we continue to do it regardless, and we need to find solutions and we get better at actually what we want to do as well. But obviously after a win, people are a lot lighter on their feet. It always makes things a lot easier building into a big game again.
Defensively, how are things looking this week? Obviously you've probably got some decisions to make with Alexander Popovic. What's the latest on him? Joel King, and then obviously Alex Grant. Is he nearby in terms of being available for selection?
Yeah, look, Joel King and Alex Grant are both touch and go at the moment, whether we utilise them for the weekend. Popper won't be available. He's still struggling with his OP at the moment. But the good thing is that we've got players there. We've got a lot more depth in that position to make those decisions.
Well, Kyle Shaw, he looks like he's a guy you can depend on back there.
Yeah, Kyle did a great job. We threw him in the deep end, and like I said, after the game, it's where you can build careers or kill careers at the same time, and I think we definitely built his career, so great opportunity for him. He's been training with us all week, and look, if things go well, probably Kyle will start again.
Douglas Costa alluded to the fact he's probably not going to start on Saturday. Do you know how many minutes he might have in him, and maybe he doesn't need many to make a difference?
Yeah, look, it's not an easy one to balance with Douglas. The medical staff have obviously capped him with certain minutes within the game, but also I'm thinking one step further, and we have a game on Wednesday, a very important ACL clash that we need to play as well. So it's one of those ones where I know Douglas wants to play. If I ask Douglas to play 90 minutes, he'll say yes, he'll agree to it straight away. But the reality is we want to utilise him in the ACL as well. So we'll decide obviously on game day the decisions that we make and how we utilise Douglas. And if we don't have to use him, it'd be great. Then we'll have him available for the Wednesday clash.
A clean sweep of the Wanderers in the regular season. What does that mean? And you know what it means for the fans, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a derby. I think it's a great turnout. I think the atmosphere is always sensational at the derby, and we want to continue to dominate the derby like we have previously, and hopefully, we play a good game, a good performance, and get the result at the same time.
I heard a stat this week. Sorry, the Sydney FC is the first team since 1980 in Australia to score 3 goals or more at home for 7 games in a row. You can actually beat the record this week, and it must fill your confidence scoring so freely at home.
Yeah, look, I think we've got some tremendous players in the attacking third that can create these moments, and to win games you need to score goals. I'm happy for a 1-0 win, but if we score more, even better.
What are you anticipating from the Wanderers? Because now that we're at the stage of the season where we're past halfway, people are starting to look at that top 6 and maybe teams breaking away. Are you expecting them to be a bit more on the front foot in this game, or do you think they're going to approach it in the same manner they have the last 2?
I think they'll approach it in the same manner, to be honest. I think they might be a little bit more aggressive in the early parts of the game, but then obviously they'll go back into, I believe, their default, which is playing in a mid-block, protecting spaces and try to win balls and hit us on the counter, because we are a very aggressive team. We go forward with a lot of numbers, and in transition is the opportunities for them, which they do very well, because I believe they've got players up front that transition quite well, and we need to nullify that, especially when we do lose the ball within the game. But look, there's a 3 points difference at the moment. For us, we win, we go 6 points clear of Wanderers, and we keep cementing our spot moving forward.
As a coach, how do you weigh that up midweek, knowing that is their ultimate strength in terms of the pace and the attacking calibre that they have going forward, and knowing that if there is one weakness you've said is probably if you can get caught, that would be the way doing it. So how do you balance that midweek as a coach? Maybe
score 3 goals again and not concede any. Well, it's for us. It's obviously there's a tactical element to it where when we do attack, we need to make sure that we're organised in our rest defence. That we decide on who goes and when players leave and then join in the attack and who stays, and we need to nullify that. And one thing that's very important for us that when we do it well is our counter press to win the ball back as soon as we lose it. And if we can do that well, I don't think we'll have any issues.
Adrian Segic has been impressive again in that role of coming off the bench. Obviously, I'm not expecting you to give away the team. If you want to, that's fine. But how close is he to starting again and becoming a regular part of this first team setup from the off?
Yeah, look, Sega's done well when he started, and he definitely gives us a lot of energy when he comes off the bench as well. So, no player's far off. It's the personnel that we have available, and then as coaches we decide that this is the best 11 that we think we put out on the park that's going to win us the game. But also we also think about the other side of when we do bring players on the game, how they're going to change the game and how they're going to add value. And Sega does it definitely when he's on the park, when he starts, and when he comes off the park as well. And the hardest thing, and I've said this before within the A-League competition, is that generally the front line is full of visa players. So it's very hard sometimes for our younger players to be able to get that natural game time that they want. But look, everyone plays a role. I know players are not happy when they don't play, but he definitely gives us the energy that we need when he does come on.
On Max Burgess, is Max in consideration for the squad this weekend? What's the latest for Max?
Well, he's part of the squad. Everyone's in consideration leading into a game, and we make that final decision what the squad looks like before match day.
Is there a chance he might leave before the transfer window closes?
I'm not too sure.
In terms of looking at the Wanderers, do you plan for Juan Mata playing, bearing in mind what happened last week and what he said yesterday?
For me, I'd like him to play. I think it adds value to the game. It'd be great if we could get Douglas to start and Juan Mata to start. I think it's a great spectacle for the fans that the two great players are on the park playing for their side. So, look, after the injury that he had, we'll see on game day what they come up with, how bad or how his injury actually is. So, look, if he plays, great. I think it's great for the game itself and great for his team. But at the end of the day, we'll just focus on what we need to do.
Ben's mentioned chance to create history, a whitewash of never been done before in Sydney Derby history, or a blue wash if you like. Never been done before, 3 Derby wins in a season. Is that something that you would use to motivate the players, or is it something that you just want to leave in the background and not put too much added pressure on?
No, for me, it's look, the Derby is always exciting. It's another game within the competition that we need to pick up 3 points. The great thing about the Derby is the atmosphere and the rivalry that the players have and the clubs have and the fans have with each other. So we look at it as another game where we need to pick up 3 points because we know the direction we want to head and we know we want to end up at the end of the season.
In terms of players keeping their heads in this game, it is one of the fierier games in the A-League. Is that something that you mentioned midweek, knowing that there's a line there where you don't want to jeopardise things, but it's important to, be aggressive in the tackle and stuff?
Yeah, it's a balance. It's a hard one to say to a player as a 50-50, then, pull out of the challenge because you're worried about getting a yellow card or, even worse, maybe a red card. Like the players make those decisions in instances on the field. But it's a big game. We need to show our intent from the start of the game. We're playing at home. We want to be on the front foot with and without the ball. And again, look, it's normal. The first 15-20 minutes of the derby is always chaotic, and then the game settles down, and then I think the better side actually starts to play football.